Springland Gardens, quality homes for a lifetime of happiness. Situated 15 minutes from Gulf City Mall at Toby Trace in Avocat. Our homes start at $1.8 million with duplexes from $1.75 million. Our homes are outfitted with a fully equipped kitchen, 3 ensuite bedrooms with walk-in closets, powder room, sophisticated lighting, air conditioning, security cameras, burglar proofing, electronic gate garages, study, and utility room. Residents have access to a recreational pond, play park, and an artificial turf football field. Call 792-1155 to arrange your visit today. Visit our Facebook page, Springland Gardens, for more information.
Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala, Hey Giridhar Gopala,
Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala,
Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala, Hey Giridhar Gopala,
Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala, Giridhar Gopala.
मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर,
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 सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
भक्तों के सत्य साई 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 मनोहर,
गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला, हे गिरिधर गोपाला,
गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला।
मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर,
मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
सूरदास के श्याम मनोहर,
भक्तों के सत्य साई मनोहर,
भक्तों के सत्य साई मनोहर,
गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला,
गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला, गिरिधर गोपाला,
गिरिधर गोपाला,
गिरिधर गोपाला
गिरिधर गोपाला
गिरिधर गोपाला.
Namaste and Sitaram. Welcome to our Satsang tonight. These Satsangs are in celebration of the Murti Sthapana Puja, which will take place on Sunday. And so we're very, very happy that you are joining us tonight for Satsang. We'll begin with the lighting of the lamps with Suruj and his family. And
आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान,
ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान.
ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान.
जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. पिता महादेवा
पिता महादेवा.
माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. लदवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा. लदवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. एक दंत दयावंत चार भुजाधारी.
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 माथे पे सिंदूर सोहे मुसके सवारी. माथे पे सिंदूर सोहे मुसके सवारी. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा. माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा. अंधन को आँख देत निर्बल को काया,
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 निर्बल को काया,
निर्बल को काया,
अंधन को आँख देत निर्बल को काया, बांझन को पुत्र देत निर्धन को माया, बांझन को पुत्र देत निर्धन को माया। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा। हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा,
हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा,
हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश देवा। हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा, हार चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा। सूरदास शरण आयो सफल करो सेवा, सूरदास शरण आयो सफल करो सेवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा। जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। गौरवशाली है भवशाली तुझको करो प्रणाम, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। गौरवशाली वैभवशाली तुझको करूं प्रणाम, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। मुझे बचाते पीराओं से बर हस्त जो तेरे, तेरे मंदिर आते जाते पाँव थकाना मेरे। जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ। मुझे बचाते पीराओं से बर हस्त जो तेरे, तेरे मंदिर आते जाते पाँव थकाना मेरे। तूने माता सदा बनाए मेरे बिगड़े काम, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। गौरवशाली है भवशाली तुझको करो प्रणाम, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ,
जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ।
तेरे महिमा मैं क्या गाऊं सारी दुनिया जाने, उसको विपता कभी न घेरे जो कोई तुझको माने। हे माँ, हे माँ, हे माँ, तेरी महिमा मैं क्या गाऊं सारी दुनिया जाने। उसको विपता कभी न घेरे जो कोई तुझको माने। तेरे जो चरणों में देखो मैनो चारों धाम। जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। गौरवशाली है वैभवशाली तुझको करो प्रणाम। जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। माता तेरे सुमिरन में ये कैसा अमृत पाया। मोह जगत से दूर हुए भई कोई न मन में आया। हे माँ, हे माँ, हे माँ, माता तेरे सुमिरन में ये कैसा अमृत पाया। मोह जगत से दूर हुए भई कोई न मन में आया। तुमको गाओ तुमको ध्याओ माता सुबह हो शाम। जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। गौरवशाली है भवशाली तुझको करो प्रणाम। जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ, जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे माँ। Sitaram, and may I take this opportunity on behalf of my brother Anand, my wife Nandini and my family, and also the members of the Saraswati Kirtan Mandali to welcome you to tonight's Satsang, the first of 3 nights in which discourses will be delivered by Professor Anand Rambachan, a professor of religion, and his call to fame and his work in the field of religion as a whole, Hinduism, is well known internationally. This series of lectures that we are convening tonight is really to inaugurate this shrine that has been built here to honor our ancestors. The name of this shrine is Kula Devalaya, or Laya, meaning the place of the family deity. And our family deity is Hanumanji. So that on the altar there is a very beautiful murti of Hanumanji, and it's a kneeling murti. And Hanumanji taught us how to pray in one of the most significant series of verses you will find in the Ramcharitmanas. And if you look to my right, on the wall above the door, you'll see Hanuman's prayer in the Ramayana. And he starts by saying, although my defects are many and my limitations are innumerable, my Lord, look upon me favorably as your servant. Not knowing you, I am lost in your world. Only through your grace can I be free. I confess, my Lord, that I do not know how to approach you. What songs of praise should I sing to you? What spiritual path should I take which will lead me to you? But I stand before you as a child stands before a loving parent, and as a servant before a kind master. Confident I am that in your compassionate arms I can be freed from all of my anxieties. And this is the famous prayer of Hanumanji, Jadapi Natha Bahu Avaguna More, Sevaka Prabhuhi Parai Jani Bhore. It's a beautiful prayer, and we were first taught the meaning and significance of this prayer by Anand in 1990 when he delivered 7 nights of lectures on Hanumanji at Diwali Nagar. So Hanumanji is kneeling here and he's looking at these words, telling us always and reminding us about the importance of us kneeling before God, the Almighty, and reminding ourselves that we too are like children before loving parents, God being that loving parents, and we too are like servants before a kind master, confident that that master and that parent is compassionate like God and will be freed from all our anxieties. And this shrine therefore commemorates the presence of our family deity, Hanumanji. My grandfather, whose picture you see here, is the late Pandit Rambachan. And my Aji, whose picture is with him there, her name was Sri Raji. And that is how the street on which Raphael Tilak and his family lives is named Sri Raji. It is after her. This was her land that she bequeathed to my father and mother, and then they bequeathed it to us. So on the right side of them is the picture of my father and mother. And on my right side here, you will see another picture here, which is my Nana and Nani, Pandit Govardhan and Chanarde Govardhan. These were these are also our grandparents. So this shrine honors our ancestors. And life is such that we are also going to pass away. And hopefully, our pictures will be placed here. And with the pictures, there is more than just honoring their ancestry. There is something more. It is also about remembering the history of their struggles and what they have done. And also reminds us that we must live lives of gratitude, because no matter how small a gift they may have given to us, that gift is which we have built upon. Those were the foundations that were laid. And therefore we have to always be grateful and live with an attitude of gratitude. There are 2 other murtis in this mandir. One is Ganesh Murti, and that's because my father and mother, they, for many, many years, generations upon generations, worship Lord Ganesh during the Ganesh festival at the Avocat Hindu temple, and with all the communities around this area. And my mother also was a worshipper of Mother Durga. So I have brought Durga Murti also to commemorate her worship and her honoring of Durga Ma. And there's a small Krishna Murti here. I had invited my aunt, the oldest surviving aunt, Basde Maharaj of Point 14, to come and place on the wall here the picture of her father and mother. And when she came, she brought this Murti of Krishna Bhagwan and left it here in the mandir. So, this is a shrine, not a big shrine, not a big building, but it's meant for a purpose. And I hope that, the community here will be able to use this place also. It is open to you for use. You want to do a puja, you want to have a function, it's open for you to use. This is what it has been built for. But this series of lectures is to inaugurate this particular building, if I may call it like that. We call it a shrine. And you'll see one other word out there, Pitri Tirtha. Pitri Tirtha. The journey of the ancestors is also included there. At the back of this building, there is another building built here, which is a building in which you'll find a Havan Kund. And this Havan Kund is purely for Havan. And it is built according to how it's prescribed in the Vedas. So it's built to that size and it's built into the earth. And at the back of that building is what we will call a service building. It's Anand gave it the name Bhojanawala, Bhojanalaya, meaning the place to eat. So that it is a complete facility there with bathrooms and everything, so that if anyone of you would like to use a bathroom through this door here and into that building, just pull the door and enter there, and there's water in a refrigerator. Anything that you like is there. So I use the opportunity to announce that. So I want to thank all of those who assisted so much in making this shrine possible. A lot of people worked very hard in a very short space of time. All this was done in the space of 6 months, and it's here. And we thank you most sincerely for your presence this evening and for honoring on this very important day, honoring our ancestors also by your presence. With these few words, I turn over to Anand.
So, Sitaram, everyone. So I join my brother Saruj in welcoming each of you and to say how grateful we are that you've joined us for Satsang this evening. A special welcome also to those of you who are not here with us physically but joining on the live broadcast on Facebook. Welcome to all of you. The Satsang tonight and tomorrow and Sunday night will be based on the teachings of Ramayana, Manas, and I would like to begin tonight with the slokas at the very beginning of the text composed by the author Goswami Tulsi, and then we will begin our satsang. Tulsidas begins by expressing his reverence to God in the form of Saraswati and Ganesha. Varnanam arthasanghanam rasanam chandasamapi Mangalanam chakartarau Vande Vani Vinayakau. Next, he honors the divine in the form of Bhagavan Shiva and Parvati Mata. Bhavani Shankarau Vande Shraddha Vishwasarupinau Yabhyam Vinan Pashyanti Siddha Swantaf Tamishwaram. Next, Tulsidas honors his Guru. Vande Bodham Mayam Nityam Gurum Shankararupinam Yamasrito Hivakropi Chandra Sarvatra Vandyate. He turns next to the first author of Ramayana, Valmiki, and the servant of Ram, Sri Hanumanji. Sita Rama Gunagramam Punyaranya Viharinau Vande Vishuddha Vijnanau Kavishwara Kapishwarau. And then to Sita Mata. Udbhava Sthiti Samhara Karinim Kleshaharinim Sarvasreyasya Karim Sitam Natoham Ramavallabham.
जो सुमिरत सिद्धे हो गणनायक करिवर बदना. जो सुमिरत सिद्ध हो गणनायक करिवर बदना. करहु अनुग्रह सो बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना. मुख होई वाचा पंगु चढ़य गिरिवर गहना. जासु कृपा सुदया द्रव करिमल दहन नील सरोवर श्याम करुणा अरुण बारी जनयन करहु सुमम उर्धाम सदा क्षीर सागर शयन कुंड इंदु समदे कुमार मन करुणायन जाहि दीन परने करहु कृपा मर्दन मयन बंदो गुरु पद कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोह तम पुंज जासु वचन रवि कर निकर श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम.
So the Ramayana was first written in Sanskrit by the great poet Valmiki around 400 BCE. And after Valmiki wrote the first version of the Ramayana in Sanskrit, many other great poets followed him and wrote their own versions of the Ramayana. And they wrote Ramayana in the local languages of India, because most people could not read or understand Sanskrit. So in order to make the life of Ram accessible to the majority of people, they wrote in their local languages. So in the 11th century, a poet in South India named Kamban, he wrote a Tamil version of the Ramayana. Then in the 13th century, Buddha Raja wrote a Telugu version of the Ramayana. In the 14th century, we had the first Bengali version of the Ramayana. And in the 16th century, Tulsi wrote the Hindi version of the Ramayana. Actually, he didn't write in Hindi. He wrote in a very local dialect known as Awadhi to make the story of Sri Ram heard and accessible to local people. So the different versions of the Ramayana, and especially the version written by Tulsi in the 16th century, helped to preserve the story of Sri Ram. But Tulsi did something even more significant. He wrote his version of the life of Ram in a particular poetic meter known as the Chaupai. So sometimes we speak of the Chaupai, but that is the name of a poetic meter. And it's a rhyming 2-line unit. So you have 4 equal parts. And that style is called, that meter is called the Chaupai. And you find he uses that in a lot of his other writings, including his composition of Hanuman, Chalisa, and so on. This is why we don't read the Ramayana, but we sing it, because it was written in this poetic meter by Tulsi. And he called his version, we speak of it as Ramayana, but he called it Ramcharitmanas. The lake, the Manas filled with the Charit, with the activities of Sri Ram. Sometimes also referred simply to as the Tulsi Ramayana. Tulsi was first and foremost a gifted poet, but he was a great devotee of Sri Ram, a bhakta of Sri Ram. And as a bhakta, he is writing this text. He's a poet, but he is a bhakta of Sri Ram. And so he brings to this telling of Sri Ram's life story the heart of a devotee, the heart of a bhakta. In telling what he believed to be the life story of Sri Ram as he had received it, Tulsi Das had one firm conviction. And you can't read the Ramcharitmanas without seeing this. And his central conviction, his central belief was that God, or for him, Sri Ram, was a God of love. That God was a God of love. You see it in the prayer of Hanuman that we just shared. So if you looked at Ramcharitmanas and you collected all the words that Tulsi Das uses for God, for Sri Ram, among the most commonly used words are Kripanidhan. God is the abode of compassion. Kripanidhan. He is Deena Dayal. The one who is always merciful to those who are in need. Deena Dayal. He is Sharanagata Hitakari. The one who is always serving those who seek, those who come to his feet, those who seek refuge in him. He is Karunamaya, one whose very nature is loving compassion. So this is what is central to Tulsi Das about the nature of God, that God is a being of love. And so he tells this life story of Ram to bring forth this central belief of his in the nature of God as a God of love. So what Tulsi Das is really doing in the Ramayana is two things, basically. He's telling us about the nature of the divine as a being of love. And secondly, he's telling us what this means for us as human beings, or what this ought to mean for us in our own relationships with each other. So God is a being of love, and so we relate to divine as loving. That's a sort of, if you think of it vertically and then horizontally, what this means for our own relationships in this world. Tulsi Das wrote many books in addition to Ramcharitmanas. He wrote the Vinaya Patrika, Dohavali, of course, Hanuman Chalisa, Sankat Mochan, Hanuman Ashtak, are all attributed to Tulsi Das, but the Ramcharitmanas is his greatest accomplishment. So in this series of satsangs, these 3 satsangs, I want to share with you a short conversation from Lanka Kand. And this is a conversation between, as I was so, between Bibhishana and Sri Ram. Ramayana is composed, even by Valmiki himself, in 7 chapters. So there is the Bal Kand, the story of Sri Ram's childhood, Ayodhya Kand, all the events occurring in Ayodhya, Aranya Kand, the forest events, Kishkinda Kand, those events occurring in the city of Kishkinda, then Sundar Kand, Yuddha Kand, and Uttar Kand, the 7 chapters. Tulsi Das basically follows these 7 chapters, except that he called the Yuddha Kand of Valmiki, he calls it Lanka Kand. So Lanka Kand corresponds to Yuddha Kand in the Valmiki text. So the dialogue, the discussion that I want to share with you comes from Lanka Kand in the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsi Das. It's a conversation between Bibhishana and Ram, and it is known as Bibhishana Gita. The Bibhishana Gita in Ramcharitmanas. So this conversation between Bibhishana and Sri Ram, Bibhishana, of course, as you know, is the brother of Ravana, is prompted, as I will show you, by a certain concern raised by Bibhishana on the battlefield itself. So in Sanskrit, Gita means a song, but Gita also means a teaching. So it means both song and teaching. Of course, the most popular Gita we know is the Bhagavad Gita, which is the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but there are many other Gitas besides the Bhagavad Gita. In the Ramayana itself, there are several Gitas. There's the Rama Gita, there's the Shiva Gita, there's Lakshmana Gita, and of course, we will be studying the Bibhishana Gita. What I find to be interesting is that both the Bhagavad Gita and the Bibhishana Gita occur on a battlefield. It's a dialogue that takes place on a field of battle. In that case is Kurukshetra, and here the battlefield is Lanka. So these are teachings given in the midst of conflict, in the midst of battle. You are perhaps familiar with the background of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna comes on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He's all ready for war, right? He's a Pandava. He's ready to fight against the Kauravas, but did not want to do battle against his relatives, his elders, his teachers. So when he came on the battlefield and he saw that he would have to fight and engage family members, teachers, some of his revered gurus, some of his friends, because they've all come to support the opposing side, he loses his will to fight. And so he turns to Krishna for advice. You please tell me what to do, because I don't think that this is worth it. I'm not willing to do battle with my relatives, with my teachers, my honored gurus in this context. So then he's advised by Sri Krishna. So the Bibhishana Gita also occurs on the battlefield. This is the battlefield of Lanka, the conflict, of course, between the Ram and Ravana. And you know those events that led up to this battle. You know, the kidnapping of Sita, the search for her, locating her in Lanka, all of the efforts and pleas made to return her to Sri Ram, Ravana's refusal to do that, and the war becomes unavoidable. The war becomes inevitable. So at this point in Lanka Kand, where Bibhishana talks to Sri Ram, Ravana has lost his son, Meghnad. He lost his son, he also lost his younger brother. So he's very angry. And he wants to engage Ram. Because he's lost two people who are very dear to him, a brother and a son. So he was angry, determined, wanted to bring this battle to a quick end now, to punish Sri Ram for the loss of his son and his brother. Keep in mind that he's on his home ground in Lanka. And he has access to everything that he needs for this battle. He doesn't lack anything because, as we say, he's on his home turf. He's fighting a war in his homeland. He knows the territory. He has a well-equipped army. Doesn't lack anything as far as the military needs are concerned. So he has chariots. He has all the weapons that he needs. Sri Ram, on the other hand, is far from home. He's very far from home in Ayodhya. He's living in exile. He doesn't have an army with him except, the few that he mustered with him along the way. He's without a chariot. He has no armor, no bodily armor. He's barefooted. So he has very, very little equipment in terms of military might, even at that time. And a good chariot with a skilled charioteer was very important for these kinds of battles. It can make having a skilled charioteer on a good chariot could make the difference between victory and defeat. So Bibhishana came to join Sri Ram. You know that part of the text. You know, he tried to plead with Ravana to return Sita, make peace with Ram, but his brother would not listen to him. So he was thrown out of Lanka, and so he came to Ram. And when he came, he was struck by these differences, and he became very concerned. Ram has no bodily armor. He's barefooted. His head is unprotected. And he knows that his brother has everything that he needs because he just came from Lanka. So he knows what his brother has. And he's seeing Sri Ram, who is so poorly equipped for battle, that Bibhishana is very concerned about this. Genuinely concerned about Ram's fate in this impending war. So this is where I want to start in this satsang, with Bibhishana's concern for Sri Ram as this battle is raging and Ravana is angry and he wants it to be done very, very quickly. So this is what Tulsi does, how he describes this situation. This is from Lanka Kand. रावण रथी वीरत रघुबीरा, देखी विभीषण भय अधीरा। रावण रथी वीरत रघुबीरा, देखी विभीषण भय अधीरा। श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम, जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम, जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम।
रावण रथी वीरत रघुबीरा, देखी विभीषण भय अधीरा।
राम श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
अधिक प्रीति मन भाव संदेहा, बंदी चरण कह सहित स्नेहा। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम, जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम।
So this is how Tulsidas describes this scene. Ravanu Rathi, very beautiful poetic words he uses. Ravana Rathi, Biratha Raghubir. So what he's seeing, that Ravana, Ratha is chariot. Ravana has a chariot. So Ravana Rathi, Biratha, B means without. And Sri Ram is without a chariot. Ravana Rathi, Biratha Raghubira, Dekhi Vibhishana. This is what he's seeing. Dekhi Vibhishana, Bhayahu Adhira. Bhaya. He becomes scared. He came to join Sri Ram, and now he's seen the reality of what might be happening. Dekhi Bibhishana Bhayahu Adhira. He becomes fearful and anxious because he immediately feels that this is an unequal battle between a warrior who is so well equipped and one who has no military equipment. Ravana Rathi Biratha Raghubira, Dekhi Vibhishana Bhayahu Adhira. Adhika Priti Manabha Sandeha, Bandi Charana Kaha Sahita Saneha. So Adhika Priti is love, care for. So he has great love for Sri Ram. So it is his love, Tulsi Das says, because of his great love for Sri Ram, he is fearful of what might be happening, of Ram's defeat in this war. So his love for Sri Ram is the source of his concern for his well-being in the battle. So adhika priti manabha sandeha bandi charana kaha sahita saneha. And so he chooses then to tell Ram of his fear, of his worry, of his anxiety. Out of his love, Tulsidas says, from his love he gets worried and anxious, and then he wants to speak to Ram about this concern, about the possibility that he might not win this battle. So here's what he says.
नाथ नरत नहीं तन पर त्राना केहि विधि जीतब वीर बलवाना नाथ नरत नहीं तन पर त्राना केहि विधि जीतब वीर बलवाना सुनहु सखा कहा कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना सुनहु सखा कहा कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा जय राम श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा.
So I think you have to sort of project yourself into what is happening here, because it's a very unusual situation. Bibhishana has just come from the side of the enemy, virtually, Ravana's side. And he's joined Sri Ram, and he's worried about the outcome of this battle. So he says to him, Nathana Ratha, just what I said before. My Lord, you do not have a chariot. Nathana Ratha. You don't have a chariot. Nahi Nathana Ratha nahi tana paratrana. You don't have shoes on your feet. You don't have any armor to cover your body or your head. You have no protection, no bodily protection from not even a pair of shoes. Kehi bidhi jitabi veera balavana. How do you think you're going to defeat him? Kehi bidhi jitaba veera balavana. He is a veera. He is a heroic warrior. He's my brother. I know him. I know his capability. He is veera. He is balavana. He's a very powerful, heroic, courageous warfare. How are you going to defeat him? Kehi bidhi jitava veera balavana. How will you defeat him? So, on the eve of this great battle, Bibhishana is expressing reservations about Sri Ram's ability to defeat Ravana. It's not a comfortable situation to be in. To tell someone, I don't think you're going to win this battle. You don't know what you're getting into. Basically saying to Sri Ram, you don't know what you're getting into. I don't think you're going to win this battle because you are simply ill-equipped for what you don't know who you are engaging. How will you win? Kehi bidiji tava veera balavana.
Because what you have doesn't compare to what he has. So he speaks of the strength of his brother. He's strong, he's brave. You're not as prepared as he is. I am concerned, I am worried, I am anxious about this. This is what Bibhishana says to Sri Ram.
Springland Gardens, quality homes for a lifetime of happiness. Situated 15 minutes from Gulf City Mall at Toby Trace in Avocat. Our homes start at $1.8 million, with duplexes from $1.75 million. Our homes are outfitted with a fully equipped kitchen, 3 ensuite bedrooms with walk-in closets, powder room, sophisticated lighting, air condition, security cameras, burglar proofing, electronic gate garages, study, and utility room. Residents have access to a recreational pond, play park, and an artificial turf football field. Call 792-1155 to arrange your visit today. Visit our Facebook page, Springland Gardens, for more information.
So now think about this. Think about the human dimension of this situation. Ram could take offense. He could be offended. Because if you are embarking on a very big project or enterprise and someone comes and discourages you, says, I don't think you know what you're getting into. You're underestimating the challenges. You could take offense if someone speaks to you in this way. And many in a similar situation would be offended. This person is doubting my abilities. He's just come. He doesn't know me well and he's just come and he's doubting if I have the ability to win this war. If it was Ravana, he'll probably have his head cut off already, just for raising the question. For doubting his ability, Ravana would become very angry, I imagine, in a similar situation, because we have many, many examples in Ramayana how Ravana would react to someone who questioned him, someone who doubted him, someone who simply didn't obey what he wanted to be done. So there is something really interesting to learn from Ram's response here. Because potentially, and many of us would probably get angry if someone spoke to us in this way. Someone seemed to doubt our abilities in a very significant event. But Ram's response is really remarkable, I would say. He doesn't get angry, he doesn't respond with anger at Bibhishana. Perhaps it's also because Bibhishana expressed himself with great love. The Tulsi himself says, Bandi charana kaha sahita saneha, that he expressed his concern, but he did so with love, lovingly. He spoke loving words, or he spoke in a loving manner to Sri Ram. And Ram's response was very similar. So Tulsi says that Sunahu sakha kaha kripa nidhana. Ram calls him a friend. He says, listen, my friend, Bibhishana. Sunahu sakha kripa nidhana. And this is one of Tulsidas' favorite names for Ram. Kripa nidhana means the one who is full of love, the one who is full of compassion, the one who is full of mercy. Jehi jiya hoi so syandana ana. There is another kind of battle that I want to tell you about that requires a different kind of preparation. You are thinking of one kind of preparation, but I want to teach you about another kind of battle that requires a different preparation. So listen, my friend, I want to tell you something else in light of what you have raised. Why does Ram not get angry with him? It's a good question. Why does he respond so gently to Bibhishana, even though it was potentially an explosive situation? And I think this is where I think that Tulsi Das's description of Ram as merciful, as compassionate, as caring, that God is merciful, God is compassionate, God is caring. Compassion, whether it's in our own human hearts or in this case in the heart of the divine, always leads us to look deeper. Compassion means the ability to look deeper. Not superficially, but deeper. So even though Bibhishana said words or expressed concern and anxiety that potentially could be very provocative, could be very upsetting to Sri Ram, because of compassion, Ram looks deeper. And he sees that, true, he's doubtful about my abilities. He's doubtful that if I could win this war, but he's expressing it from a place of love for me. He's speaking out of deep concern for me. In other words, he's not speaking because of any improper motives, dislike of me or a desire for me to lose, but he's speaking from a place of love for me, because of a place of concern. As I said, contrast this with Ravana, who always got angry and took great offense at anyone who questioned him or was critical of a decision of Ravana or a choice made by him. In the case, we have many examples. Bibhishana himself was thrown out of his brother's court. One of his ministers, Malyavan, spoke to him. He was also punished. All criticism was treated with hostility. So compassion means looking deeper. Look into the motive. That when someone says something that is potentially offensive, it is good to pause and to look deeper and see, why is this person speaking like this? What is the motivation of this person? This is what a compassionate heart allows us to do. Love is patient. Love is thoughtful. Love always doesn't react immediately. There's another very beautiful example in Ramayana that I like to give also. And this is about Sita. And this is after Ravana is defeated, at the end of the battle, when Ravana has lost. And, Hanumanji comes to Ashoka, where she is kept as prisoner, to take her back to Sri Ram. And he says, all of these people here, they treated you very badly. These women who guarded you, they spoke to you very harshly. They mistreated you. So before I take you back, allow me to punish them. I want to punish them all because of the way in which they treated you. So before taking you back to Sri Ram, I seek your permission to punish all of those who mistreated you. And Sita's response was really very different from what one might expect. Normally one would think, yes, I want vengeance against them because of all these years that I was kept prisoner and all the pains that I endured. But she said to him, Hanumanji, let us not be angry. These women are victims also. Like me, they are also victims. they are also Ravana's slaves. They had no choice. They had no choice because of all his threats. And this is why they took up these roles. So they are also like me, prisoners of Ravana. So let's not. A superior being, she says, does not return hurt for hurt. A superior being is full of forgiveness. The ornament of a virtuous person is the ability to forgive. And this is how she dissuades Hanumanji from punishing. So Ram does not erupt in anger at Bibhishana, but says, listen, Jehi ji ahoi so syandana ana. I want to tell you about a different battle. What is fascinating is that Bibhishana has expressed his concern about Ram's ability to win this war. But Sri Ram doesn't address that question. He says there is a much larger battle that requires different preparation. And I want to tell you about that. Perhaps he was not worried about the fact that Ravana was much better equipped because he doesn't directly address Bibhishana's concern. He seems to be saying, look, this battle is going to be soon over. But the greater battle that you have to fight and all of us have to be engaged in is a continuous battle. And this is what I want to tell you about. I want to speak to you about that. And what is that battle? That battle requires another kind of preparation. So in this dialogue, Ram distinguishes between two kinds of chariots. So Ravana has what is called a Yuddha Ratha. Ratha means chariot. He drives Yuddha means war, a chariot of war. Ram says, I want to tell you about a Dharma Ratha. There's also a chariot of virtue that I want to tell you about, which is more important than the chariot of war. So let's talk about the Dharma Ratha, not the Yuddha Ratha. Ravana is fixated on a Yuddha Ratha, on a violent. He's a violent man and his chariot is a chariot of conflict, of hostility, of war. But the more important chariot is the Dharma Ratha, is the chariot of virtue. And so in this dialogue, he describes this chariot. Every part of this chariot he describes to Bibhishana. This is the chariot I want you to ride, Bibhishana. This Dharma Ratha. And what are the parts of this chariot? He begins to tell Bibhishana in this chaupai. Sauraj dhiraj tehi rath chaka satya sila drid dvaja pataka. Sauraj dhiraj tehi rath chaka satya sila drid dvaja pataka. Bal vivek dam parahit ghore क्षमा कृपा सम तार जुजोरे बल विवेक दम परहित घोरे क्षमा कृपा सम तार जुजोरे श्री राम जय 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 राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम. So now we have to visualize a chariot. What is this chariot, and what is a chariot of virtue as opposed to a chariot of violence? The Yuddha Ratha and Dharma Ratha. So in these ancient times, these chariots had 2 wheels, not 4 wheels as we might have seen in some other civilizations, but chariots had 2 wheels. So he begins by saying, what are the 2 wheels of this Dharma Ratha, the chariot of virtue? What constitutes the wheels? Sauraja dhiraja tehi ratha chaka. So Bibhishana, the chariot that you really need to be successful in life, the wheels of this chariot, Ratha Chaka, he says, are Sauraj and Dhiraj. Sauraj and Dhiraj. Sauraja Dhiraja Tehi Ratha Chaka. The wheels are Sauraj and Dhiraj. These are the wheels that ensure that the chariot moves. So Sauraj is bravery. Sauraj is valor. Sauraj is courage. Sauraj is fearlessness. And Dhiraj, Sauraj and Dhiraj, Dhiraj is persistence, resilience, not giving up, continue, the energy to continue. So there is no, even as the 2 wheels of a chariot are necessary for the chariot to move, he's saying that this chariot of virtue, the 2 wheels are Sauraj and Dhiraj. Courage, fearlessness, but also resilience, fortitude, not giving up. So think of these 2 beautiful words, Sauraj and Dhiraj, Sauraj and Dhiraj. So without Sauraj, which is freedom from fear, we are always paralyzed. We will not do anything. We will not undertake anything in life if we lack Sauraj, if we are always doubting ourselves, doubting our abilities, worrying about whether I will achieve or not achieve. Sauraj is the very opposite of that. It is the willingness to take risks, the courage to face the possibility of failure, not to achieve success. There are always risks when one takes new steps in life. So without Sauraj, we lack so much faith and trust in ourselves. We are obsessed with the fear of failure that we will not accomplish anything in life. Because when you take a step, immediately you begin to doubt yourself. As Bhagavad Gita says, one who is always doubting himself or herself will not accomplish happiness in this world or in any other world. One has to have faith in oneself. One has to have the quality of Sauraj. But Sauraj must be complemented by Dhiraj. These are like twins, Sauraj and Dhiraj. Because if Sauraj is faith in oneself, belief in oneself, Dhiraj is resilience, steadiness. In other words, the courage to undertake new actions must be accomplished by the willingness to go the course, by the energy of persistence. We can't be courageous only at the beginning. We can't be energetic only in starting a new enterprise, but also seeing it through, overcoming the expectation that results might also always become quick. So in Sanskrit, there is an expression, it's called Arambha Shura. Arambha Shura means someone who is a hero only in the beginning. Always ready and heroic to start something, but then doesn't have the energy to see anything through. But this is a person who would be ready for a new activity, but very quickly the energy fades. There is heroism in starting things, but there is no heroism in completing any project. So the wheels of life move only with Sauraj and Dhiraj, with freedom from fear and persistence. Sauraja Dhiraja Tehi Ratha Chaka. These are the wheels of the chariot of virtue. So, Satya, Shila, Drida, Dvaja, Pataka. So in ancient times also, chariots had flags, dvajas. So he says, ask Bibhishana, what are the flags of this chariot of virtue? So flags were important. And in ancient Indian society, as we are dealing in the time of the Ramayana or even Mahabharata, all chariots had two flags. A main flag and a smaller flag. And these flags were visible from a distance. This was the purpose of the flag. They were like the identification marks of the warrior. So when you looked on a battlefield, you looked at the chariot, you would immediately see the flags and you would know who is the warrior on that chariot. So Arjuna, as you know, from Bhagavad Gita, from Mahabharata, he was Kapidvajaha. Arjuna's main flag on his chariot was Hanuman. So Arjuna, one of the names of Arjuna is Kapidvaja, the one who had the emblem of Hanuman on his flag. So when Arjuna appeared on the battlefield from a distance, other warriors could identify this is Arjuna's chariot. So these flags told something very important about the warriors. The kind of who the warrior was, what the warrior's history is, what the warrior's abilities were. So what are the flags on the chariot of virtue? So the wheels we talked about, Sauraj and Dhiraj, what are the flags on Satya, Shila, Drida, Dvaja, Pataka? We'll talk in more detail about this tomorrow, but he says that the two flags are truth. Truth, Satya, and Shila. Truth and integrity. Truth and personal integrity. Satya, Shila, Drida, Dvaja. These are the two flags that are on this chariot of virtue. It's like saying, when you think of the chariot of virtue, you think of the flags, because if the flag is what you were recognized by, like when they saw Kapidvajaha on Mahabharata's battlefield, they knew this was Arjuna. Right? So in this case, we ask ourselves, what are the flags by which we want to be known? So when someone sees you, they'll know, this is my flag. And he says, the flags on the chariot of virtue must be truth, Satya, Shila, firmness, Drida. Satya, Shila, Drida, Dvaja, Pataka. This should be your flags. You should be known for as a truthful person. You should be known as a virtuous person. You should be known as a person with integrity. Integrity meaning, what I think, what I say, and what I do are in harmony. That's called Shila. Satya is truth, Shila is integrity. The unity of thought, word, and action is called Shila. Shila in Sanskrit. So Satya, Shila, Drida, Dvaja, Pataka. These are the flags on the Dharma Ratha. And what are the horses, and what are the reins, and who is the driver? All of that he gets into in describing this beautiful chariot. But I'll stop here for tonight, and then we'll continue Sri Ram's description of every element in this chariot of virtue, the chariot that we need to be successful in life. So we will close with conclude with a few bhajans, and please join us.
हम आज पवन सुत हनुमान की कथा सुनाते हैं, पावन कथा सुनाते हैं। वीरों के वीर उस महावीर की गाता गाते हैं, हम कथा सुनाते हैं। हम आज पवन सुत हनुमान की कथा सुनाते हैं, पावन कथा सुनाते हैं। वीरों के वीर उस महावीर की गाता गाते हैं, हम कथा सुनाते हैं। जो रोम रोम में राम सिया की छवि बसाते हैं, पावन छवि बसाते हैं। वीरों के वीर उस महावीर की गाता गाते हैं, हम कथा सुनाते हैं। हे ज्ञानी गुण के निधान, जय महावीर हनुमान। हे ज्ञानी गुण के निधान, जय महावीर हनुमान। गुण के निधान, जय महावीर हनुमान।
So now we will sing in praise of Hanumanji also. Balrup just sang in praise of Hanuman. But one of the characteristics of our home, believe it or not, was every morning between the hours of 4:30 and 5 o'clock, my father used to get up and used to hear the chanting of Hanuman Chalisa. And on Tuesdays and Saturdays, my grandfather used to ensure that we went and picked red flowers to offer it to Hanumanji. And it was a great tradition. And those little things reminded us ever so often that the family deity was always Hanuman. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर धारी। वरनो रघुवर विमल यशा, जो ध्यायक फलचारी। बुद्धहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरेहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागरे, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागरे। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागरे, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागरे। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुरेशा, कांचन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ ब्रज और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियाहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए संजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई। सहस वदन तुम्हरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित अहीशा। यम कुबेर दिक्पाल चाहते, कवि कोविद कह सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुधीर कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्त्र योजन पर भानु, लियो राही मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जल दिलांग के अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के देते, सुगमय ग्रह तुम्हारे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाथ के कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नाशे रोग करे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब नाम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारो भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकाल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चेतन धरे, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, चूचई बंधि महासुख होई। जो यहाँ पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय श्री साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ जय महावीरा। की जय नाथ पवन तनय संकट हरं मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। बाल समय रवि भक्ष लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यहाँ संकट काहू सो जात न तारो। बाल समय रवि भक्ष लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यहाँ संकट काहू सो जात न तारो। देवन आनि करी बिनती तब चार दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। की त्रास कपि सब से गिर जात महाप्रभु पंत निहारो चौकी महामुनि साप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो। कै द्विज रूप लिवाय महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। अंगद के संग लेन गए सिया खोजक पीस यहाँ बैन उचारो जीवत ना बची हो हम सो जो बिना सुधिलाय यहाँ पगुधारो। फेरी थके तत सिंधु सब तब लाय सिया सुधि प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। रावण त्रास दये से यसो सब राक्षसी सो कही शोक निवारो ताहि समय हनुमान महाप्रभु जाय महारजनी चर मारो चाहत सिंह शोक सो आगे सुदय प्रभु मुद्रिक शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। बानल क्यों उड़ लक्ष्मण के तब प्राणत जे सुत रावण मारो लय गृह वैज सुसेन समेत तब गिर द्रोण सुबीर उबारो आनि सजीवन हाथ दे तब लक्ष्मण के तुम प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। रावण युद्ध अजान कियो तब नाग की फांस भी सिरदारो श्री रघुनाथ समेत सब दक मोह भया यह संकट भारो आनि खगे सत भय हनुमान जु बंधन काटि सुतास निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो
संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
बंधु समेत जपै अहि रावण, लय रघुनाथ पताल सिधारो। देवी पूज भली विधि सो, बलि देव सबे मिलि मंत्र विचारो। जाय सहाय भयो तबहि, अहि रावण सैय समेत विचारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। काज किए बर देवन के, तुम वीर महाप्रभु देखि विचारो। कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब को, जो तुम सो नहीं जात है तारो। वेगी हरे हनुमान महाप्रभु, जो कछु संकट मोहि हमारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। लाल देह लालील से, अरुधरि लाल लंगूर। वज्र देह दानव दलन, जय 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 कपिसूर। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।
झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। झूम झूम नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। झूम झूम नाचे देखो वीर हनुमाना। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। झूम झूम नाचो देखो भक्त हनुमाना। राम की धुन में मस्त मगन है। राम की लागी लागी इनके लगन है। राम की धुन में मस्त मगन है। राम की लागी लागी इनके लगन है। राम जी के लिए हनुमान है दीवाना। राम जी के लिए हनुमान है दीवाना। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। झूम झूम नाचे देखो वीर हनुमाना। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुणगान। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना। झूम झूम नाचे देखो वीर हनुमाना। जहाँ सत्संग तोरे गान श्री राम का, वही पार ध्यान होगा भक्त हनुमान का। जहाँ सत्संग तोरे गान श्री राम का, वही पार ध्यान होगा भक्त हनुमान का। नाम हनुमान जी का भक्ति का खजाना, नाम हनुमान जी का भक्ति का खजाना। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना, झूम झूम नाचो देखो वीर हनुमाना। बाज कर ताल करे राम गुण गाना, बाज कर ताल करे राम गुण गाना। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना, झूम झूम नाचे देखो वीर हनुमाना। हनुमान लगते हैं राम जी को प्यारा, बजरंगी लगते हैं राम जी को प्यारा। हनुमान लगते हैं राम जी को प्यारा, बजरंगी लगते हैं राम जी को प्यारा। राम जी के चरणों में इनका ठिकाना, राम जी के चरणों में इनका ठिकाना। झूम 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 नाचो देखो भक्त हनुमाना, झूम झूम नाचो देखो वीर हनुमाना। बाज करे ताल करे राम गुण गान, बाज करे ताल करे राम गुण गान। झूम 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 नाचे देखो भक्त हनुमाना, झूम झूम नाचे देखो वीर हनुमाना। भक्त हनुमाना वीर हनुमाना, भक्त हनुमाना वीर हनुमाना।
So now we invite you to join with us in the arti of Hanumanji, and I'll ask Gita, Ranju and Nandini to garland the murtis as we perform arti this evening. So we will be singing the Hanumanji arti. दुष्ट दलना रघुनाथ कला की, दुष्ट दलना रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। लक्ष्मण मूर्छित परे सखारे, आदि संजीवन प्राण उबारे। तैथि पताल तोड़े जमकारे, अहि रावण की बुझा उखारे। बाये भुजा असुर दल मारे, दाहिनी भुजा संत जन तारे। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे, आरती उतारे प्रभु आरती उतारे। सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे, आरती उतारे प्रभु आरती उतारे सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे जय 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 हनुमान उचारे कंचन थाल कपूर लो शाही आरती करत अंजन नामाई जो हनुमान जी की आरती गावे रसि वैकुंठ परम पद पावे आरती की जय हनुमान लला की आरती की जय हनुमान लला की आरती की जय हनुमान लला की आरती की जय हनुमान लला की।
मनोजवं मारुतितुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
So a profound thanks again to each and every one for joining us for tonight's Satsang. And those of you who followed us on Facebook, thank you again for being with us. Wherever part of the world you have joined us from, may God bless you all. In conclusion, I want to thank Sankhya TV for being here tonight. And at the same time, I would like to thank my good friend Kim Chan Singh for the lovely plants he donated to me, gave to me as a gift today that adorn these very beautiful surroundings. And thank you very much and God bless you all.
Springland Gardens, quality homes for a lifetime of happiness. Situated 15 minutes from Gulf City Mall at Toby Trace in Avocat. Our homes start at $1.8 million. With duplexes from $1.75 million. Our homes are outfitted with a fully equipped kitchen, 3 ensuite bedrooms with walk-in closets, powder room, sophisticated lighting, air condition, security cameras, burglar proofing, electronic gate garages, study, and utility room. Residents have access to a recreational pond, play park, and an artificial turf football field. Call 792-1155 to arrange your visit today. Visit our Facebook page, Springland Gardens, for more information.